Good morning. This is going to come out instead of the Friday fraud law review hash out, simply because this is just timely, so I wanted to get it out. They have announced the COLA for 2025, and it is going to be 2.5%. Given that inflation is still moving forward higher than we would like, but it is not like the crazy last couple years. It is a little bit, well, significantly lower. What's funny is 2.5%. We really know that our inflation is more than that. So this is just COLA's little mitigated attempt to cover inflation, which it doesn't seem to really properly weight, weight the various things that we tend to buy as consumers, particularly disabled or seniors. So there is that. They tell us, and I have a fact sheet here, and I'm going to try to post this in the comment section so you guys can see it. There are additional numbers I want to share with you because it's not just about what your benefit amount will increase by based on the COLA, the application of the COLA. Remember too that your benefit rate can increase if you are working under the limits for your particular program, but you're paying the taxes on them. So this is not the only way your benefit rate can increase. It can increase in other ways if the shoe fits. It really depends on everyone's situation. But that's a video for a different day. Okay, so the tax rate now is, so in 2024 and 2025, so this doesn't change, but I'm just going to reiterate it. For employees, it's 7.65%. For self-employed people, it is 15.30%. Being self-employed myself, it's painful paying both halves, but that's the nature of the beast. And for those of you who have been self-employed, I know people make fun of us. Like, why would you be self-employed to, work 80 hours a week? Um, anyway, we have our reasons, right? We like it. Anyway, so just remember, employee pays half of what is due. Self-employeds pay all of it. And the reason why employees pay half on their working income towards Social Security, that's what we're talking about here, the tax rate, is because their employer pays the other half out of its own pocket. This is also referred to as payroll tax. And I just wanted to mention there's so much bashing of companies and employers, and they're just big, bad, evil, greedy entities, right? And this bash against, they do not deserve a tax cut. Blah, 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 blah. Well, they don't never get a tax cut on the payroll tax. So they're always paying half of your Social Security tax. It is going to get you a bigger Social Security benefit. So I just think credit where credit is due, because your mainstream media is not going to share that with you when they talk about tax cuts. And as we saw from the most recent tax cuts, which were in 2017, effective 2018, when companies get tax cuts, that means there's less they're paying to Uncle Sam to do what Uncle Sam tends to do best, which is spend, spend, spend. And almost hands down, not always, but the most of the time, or certainly compared to otherwise, they use it for buying equipment, which is helping another business or another person make an income. They use it for hiring more employees, for scaling up. And this is one of the major reasons why we see when there is a tax cut, there is a tremendous, and by the way, when I say tax cut in this situation, I'm not talking about Social Security tax cut in terms of reducing the amount we pay out of our working income for Social Security. I'm talking about income tax cut because we pay our Social Security taxes, FICA. That is totally separate from the income tax we pay to the federal government. Two totally different things, right? They're both a little painful. At least the Social Security one is something I'm getting back in my pocket when I retire or become disabled. The rest of it's being spent or sent to other places other than myself. So when we have a situation where employers want to hire more people, or where people really have the gusto to get out there and start a business, guess what happens? There's more money going into the Social Security fund. It is something within the range of 85% of how that fund that pays our disability and our retirement benefits comes from the working income of workers. The other 15 or whatever percent it is from, say, investment income when they loan it out and collect interest on it, that kind of thing. All right, just had to mention that, guys, because there's so much misinformation out there. All right, so they do go on to say that 7.65% tax rate on employees' income that gets pulled out of their paycheck to get shot up to the Social Security Administration. They clarify that 6.2% of that, meaning 6.2% of the amount upon which the 7.65% comes out, is for Social Security portion, and the other is for Medicare. So that 7.65 comprises both of those, supporting your Medicare so you get it later. As of January 13th, it's telling us individuals with earned income of more than 200,000 or 250,000 for married couples filing jointly pay an additional 0.9% in Medicare taxes. So as you can see, people who make a little bit more, certainly not the 1%ers or the over 400,000 crowd, they're paying almost a whole additional percent for Medicare, which means we're kind of catching a break when we make less than that relative to them. Okay, now here's the amount. The amount, in case you didn't know, that we get taxed on our income, depending on how much income we make, is whether or not we pay this percentage, this 7.65 on all of our income or just part of it. For those of us in 2025 earning less than $176,100, we will be paying that 7.65% on every dollar we earn. People who earn above that only pay it on the first $76,100. That number was $168,600 back in 2024. All right. Now this one's important. We talk about quarter of coverage. How much you have to earn upon which you pay taxes. So for self-employed people, that's after your business expenses are deducted. Quarter of coverage is there's 4 quarters of coverage you may earn in a given work year or given calendar year. And it is what you need to maintain Social Security disability insured status if you have not already prevailed in your claim. And it is what you need to ultimately become vested and insured for retirement. Note that once you become insured for retirement, there is no term limit on that, like there is on SSD. Once you are insured for retirement, you are forever insured for retirement. It's only the amount that might deteriorate compared to your estimate if you don't continue working. Okay, so a quarter of coverage in 2025 is $1,810. So let's just do the math. I shouldn't do this live, should I? 1,810 times 4 is 7,240. You need to earn 7,240, $7,240 upon which you pay the taxes to get all 4 credits for the year. So if you're a person who's not insured for Social Security disability and you want to be, maybe you're on SSI, maybe you're not on either, maybe you can't get SSI because you have resources but you don't have the income, you're going to want to, I think, ideally, earn over 7,240. Do you hear the cat? I don't know if it's getting filtered out. So that you can get all 4 credits so that in any event, you're going to be insured in 5 years or less. Some people, they only need 2 more credits. Some people, they need, tons of credits, So, pardon me. So you're going to want to keep an eye on that number and ideally earn over that amount. But of course, you want to keep it under SGA if you are disabled and you're going to be claiming that those are, despite working part-time, you were disabled from working SGA and weren't working full-time. We have videos on some things to think about for your best case if you're doing that. But that is how you can go from SSI to SSD, and you can, if not eligible for either one, become eligible for SSD. You got to get insured. Okay. So retirement earnings test exempt amounts. All right. So I'm not going to go into the retirement stuff because I really wanted to focus on the disability folks. So that could be a different day, maybe. Let's see. Okay, SGA, how is that changing? As you know, it was 1550 in 2024. Now it is 1620. 1620. So it's going up $70. That's for non-blind individuals. Blind individuals, and when we say blind, it's generally legally blind, but don't hold me to that. Yeah, I'd say it's probably those that are listing level blindness. They get to earn a lot more before it impacts. I don't know. I don't know why. I'm not even sure if I think it's fair. No offense to the blind folks. I mean, blind, pain-free, having a great quality of life, you can earn $2,700 a month before you're over SGA and potentially going to lose your disability insurance benefits. That's a big difference from 1620 for people who are disabled by, say, chronic severe pain, chronic severe fatigue, can't walk, I'm in a wheelchair. So I'm not sure why. I have to assume, and again, please don't take offense to this, blind people. I wouldn't want to be blind, but I also wouldn't want to be disabled in any other way. It's just interesting. I just assume it's a lobby group, you know, politics. Okay, trial work period. Remember, it was 1,110 in 2024. It is now 1,160, so it went up $50. You know, going up is always good when it's trial work period. Let's see. Oh, this one's interesting though. This is retirement. Um, the maximum Social Security benefit for a worker retiring at full retirement age. So this is for people who didn't become disabled and didn't take at age 62, 63, 64, 65, 66. They waited till their full retirement age of, which should be now 67 for most of us, $4,018 a month in 2025. So if you were to have that, you would be, living on, if it was Social Security alone, $48,000 a year. I happen to know for a fact it's completely doable. Uh, and that doesn't include if you have minor children or dependents upon which they are going to get a dependent benefit. So that's just your own. And again, most of us don't get that amount because most of us don't do that. We don't pay that maximum. We don't earn that maximum income I mentioned above, which was what, 186 and change, 186,000 and change, or the equal amount for prior years. We don't earn that for 35 years of our lives. That's how you get to that top amount, by paying in the most, I believe. Okay, so we're all mostly something less than that. Now, the SSI federal benefit standard for 2025 is $967 a month, up from $943 in 2024. So how much is that, guys? Quick math. $24. Woo! Now, granted, it's all about COLA. So they apply the COLA to everybody. It's a little troublesome, particularly for the SSI folks, because, well, and SSD and SSR, because we know it doesn't cover the increase in the cost of our regularly purchased needed items. So we just all know it. I guess they don't know yet. Excuse me. Okay. So for a couple, by the way, that goes up to 1450 from 1415. The resource limit, of course, has not changed a bit. It remains 2,000 for a single individual and 3,000 for a married couple. That is something that I know our national organizations are really advocating to have that properly reflected. It should have a COLA. They should probably increase it to, because the fact that it's never had a COLA, as long as I've been practicing, that 2,000 amount was there 20 years ago. That's a joke, right? A joke. So if they, gosh, my mouse is not working, very annoying. If they're saying that people need to have at least some sort of resource of 2000, 2030, whenever that number came about before my time. Well, if you thought that then, how come you don't think that now? What happened? Because COLA would be applied if you think that that minimum amount, that value is important. So sorry, just a little bit of a moan and groan there. Okay, SSI student exclusion. I'm not going to go into that, but I will post it up there so you guys can come look at this. Here we go. This is kind of cool. Estimated average monthly Social Security benefits payable in January 25. So for disabled workers, overall, the average payment will be $1,580, $1,580. Oh, hey, the cat just almost knocked one of my monitors over. I got multiple monitors. I'm usually looking at various medical records as we're getting the case together. Disabled worker, spouse, and one or more children, the average benefit amount is $28.26. That, guys, would be because of the family max. You know how there's dependent benefits that can be added to not just the disabled person's full benefit, but he gets up between 50 and 80% extra. That's divvied up amongst his dependents. Aged widower or widow living alone. Well, not really living alone, but if that's just them, 1832 is the average to be paid in January 2025. A widowed mother with 2 children, the average payment she's going to be getting is 3,761. Not sure why they're being sexist here with the widowed mother. What about the widowed father? Oh no, sorry. Can't talk about men, right? So much for being politically correct or discriminatory. Sexist. Aged couple both receiving benefits. Okay, this is interesting. So this would be retirement. Aged couple, $3,089, up from $3,014. And while I'm mentioning aged couple both receiving benefits, what's critical to know, and I have a video on this, when one of them passes, the other one is going to see, assuming they were both workers, it could be a 50% reduction in his or her income coming in to support. So if you're using both of those seniors' retirement benefits to cover the bills, cover the mortgage, cover the rent, whatever it is, cover the bloody property taxes, a rude awakening. People lose their homes because they don't realize that one benefit per person. You don't get to keep the deceased person's benefit on top of whatever you're collecting. You might be able to switch to it, but you can't keep it. You can't keep both. Okay, and then the average benefit, this is the last thing, guys. The average benefit for all retired workers as an average, retired workers, not disabled, is $1,976, up from 1927 in 2024. All righty. Fun, fun, fun. Didn't go up much, but that's because allegedly inflation is so low. Okay, gotta go, guys. Have a good one. Bye.